if you're born on the 6th, or if you have a life path 6, your energy is associated with the Lover's Tarot card. And the Lover's Tarot card symbolizes Venus in Gemini. And Gemini is not the twin siblings. Gemini represents the twin flames. Yes, Geminis are extremely romantic. They're lovers. They're not heartless. They're very emotional. Geminis only feel complete in love. They're always longing for their other half, the person that can complete them. And so when you take Gemini, who's already romantic and is already poetic, and then you put Gemini in Venus, it makes somebody even more loving, even more compassionate, even more romantic. Gemini is also the zodiac sign of intelligence, communication, the hands, problem solving. And so you're not just a regular Gemini that's just solving your own problems. Venus in Gemini makes you compassionate. And so you want to solve the problems of others. You use your problem solving skills for others. You use your intelligence for others. You use your communication skills in a more compassionate way. You add the quality of art and beauty to your communication skills. And so you may have a beautiful way of speaking. Think of people like Bob Marley, born on the 6th. He's an artist. Drake, psychic number 6. Michael Jackson, life path 6. All of them have these beautiful Venusian qualities in the way that they communicated in their music. That is the energy of the 6. They dominate the beauty industry and the music industry. Gemini is also the hands. And then when you take Gemini and put Venus inside of it, now you have the ability to produce art or beauty with your hands. So you can do performative arts. You can get into things like martial arts. Think of people like John Jones, life path 6, the greatest UFC fighter. He's not just a fighter, he's an artist. That's art what he's doing. Think of people like Floyd Mayweather, born on the 6th, the greatest boxer of all time. That's art what he's doing. Think of people like Shaquille O'Neal, also born on the 6th, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. That's art, and that's associated with the hands. And so 6s, they prefer to do a career where they can tap into their expressive creativity, where they can tap into their artistic nature. 6s are very artistic, whether it's through writing, whether it's through communicating, whether it's through singing, whether it's through a sport, whether it's through fashion, anything that's associated with aesthetics or using their hands or using their words in an artistic manner. All that is associated with 6. And like I said, the 6 is the Lover's Tarot card. So they're very emotional. They have the biggest hearts. They're very compassionate. They have to pick a career that stimulates their emotions and that stimulates their artistic ability and stimulates their compassion. And so they thrive in teaching. They could be a counselor. They could be a motivational speaker. They could be a therapist. They could be a scientist. Albert Einstein was a life path 6, solving the world's problems. Malachi York is a life path 6. He's a master teacher. And so 6s need to choose a career where you're dealing with people. 6 is the number of humanity. Adam was created on the 6th day. And no, I don't believe in the Bible story, but it's symbolic. It's metaphorical. The 6 is tied to humanity. So 6s are the real humanitarians, not 9s. 9s care more about their beliefs than they care about people. But 6s actually care about people. 9 is not the number of the humanitarian. They are humanitarians. Bob Marley also was a life path 9. But what made Bob Marley compassionate was him being born on the 6th. Martin Luther King was a leader, life path 1, but he was born on the 15th. That's a 6. That's what gave him that compassion for others. Okay? And so 6s, they actually care. They may be pushovers for those that they care about, but they're big on respect. They will stand up for themselves. They will stand up to random people that don't know them trying to disrespect them. And they're very different. They treat people very different than those that are within that circle of those that they care about. But 6s activate when they're doing something for others. 6s activate when they're doing something that they love. They activate when they're able to be artistic or compassionate about something. And so they can't do a job where they're not able to use those qualities because they're not going to be of no use for that job. 6s also crave peace. They need peace. They need it. And so they don't really like to be in a loud environment. Okay? They don't like arguing with people. So they hate any dysfunction that's going on around them. But like I said, if a six is doing something for somebody that they love, or if they're doing something out of love, then they don't mind doing something that they don't like, because they're doing it for a bigger cause. I used to be an HVAC technician. My apprentice was a Lifepath 6, and he was a great teacher. He's an absolutely great teacher, and I asked him like what motivates him to want to be one of the, like, he's the best guy there. Everybody went to him when they needed help or when they needed advice. He was like a counselor for others. He's Lifepath 6. But I asked him what motivates you, and he said, well, it's his family. That's what wakes him up in the morning. It makes him work over 50 hours a week. He does all that stuff for his family. And so sixes are motivated by family or by devotion. When they care about something at an emotional level, this is when they're able to show the best quality or have their best work. And so if you're a six out there, pursue something that either stimulates your creativity, stimulates your artistic abilities, or stimulates your compassion. You have to do something that affects you at an emotional level. Another thing about sixes is that y'all can't be alone. Sixes love to be at the home because they need peace. And most of the time your peace is at the house. But if you're going to be outgoing six, it's mainly because you can't find peace at home. But sixes, you guys need love and you need to be loved. And you guys need people who need you. Sixes need to be of service to somebody. And so they're going to go wherever they're needed. That's what motivates a six. If people don't need a six, then they feel like they don't have a purpose. And so they need to be useful to other people. And so this is why they hate being alone and by themselves, because they feel useless. Sixes want to help others. They care. Some even care about others more than they care about themselves. But as a six, what's going to make you the most happy is when you are useful to others that appreciate you and that give back to you. And so serve others. Find a way to serve others. Find a way to serve others in a way that you benefit from. And pursue something that you either love or pursue something because you're doing it for those that you love. But you have to do something. It has to be for some emotional cause. Whatever it is that you do in life, you have to have some emotional reason attached behind it. To learn more about my numerology teachings, click the link in my profile bio and read my book, Supreme Mathematics. Or if you like a reading, just book a session. And you can also find that in the link in my profile bio. Well, have a great rest of your day.